right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, again with Treasury. Like I said, 22 wines, so we'll get right to it with Beringer, one of the 4 original wineries in Napa Valley. They've got incredible history and the caves there. It's an incredible place to go and see, and they made a lot of money with their sweet pink wine, but that wine is trending down now, White Zinfandel, but these guys have got some great varietals like their Chardonnay, the Luminus Oak, from Knoll Vineyard. This is a cooler part of Napa, and this is a little different style. Fresh pear and apple fruits and white flowers, light spice, very clean and elegant, very distinct, more of a new school style wine. No oak. Mark Beringer, the great grandson of the founder of Beringer, is now the winemaker here. Wow, this is a really fresh and clean style, kind of short but very pleasant wine here. Very good little Chardonnay. The Private Reserve, what they're known for. This is from Stanley Ranch and Gamble Vineyards, and one of the benchmark Chardonnays of Napa Valley and California. Really, it's one of the only white wine to ever win Wine of the Year in the Wine Spectator. Well-known fact, and Beringer the only wine to have the white and red to win the top spot there. This wine's got a beautiful bouquet of green apples, pears, lemon drop candy, notes of creme caramel, vanilla bean spice, really nice complexity, smooth and creamy on the tongue. This wine's got a good amount of acidity to match, and that nice hint of oak spice. Hey, I like a little oak in my Chardonnay. This wine is excellent, always outstanding. All right, then we're going to go into the Etude wines. We got a Pinot Noir from them, which is from Grace Benoist Ranch, which is the same place it's always come from. They've all just put the name of the ranch on the label. 10 minutes from the winery in Carneros, one of the original vineyards that Tony Soter planted, one of the icon winemakers of the 90s in Napa Valley. And this wine's got a lovely bouquet here. Red cherry fruit, notes of brown spices, pretty floral notes. A mix of 4 different vineyard sites to give the added complexity, smooth and silky on the tongue with that textbook austerity of Carneros, but that lovely light red berry fruit, a nice touch of spice and earth on the finish. Excellent juice as always. All right, and then we've got a couple of wines from St. Clement wine. I will just go right through it on this review here. Good amount of fine herbs on the Merlot with bell pepper, loamy, earthy notes. This 2010, a classic year, like dark cherry and plum fruit on the nose, sweet tobacco spice, really nice Merlot bouquet, a little bit of Cabernet in the blend, and Petite Verdot as well. Nice plush texture on the tongue. This wine's got a nice hand of acidity, a nice amount of that earth and spice on the finish. An excellent little example of Napa Merlot. The 11 Cabernet, kind of similar to what you get from 11, a little bit of that wintergreen kind of minty note, but this wine's got some nice fruit here as well. Currant and cassis, milk chocolate, cigar box spice, really nice juicy berry fruit on the tongue with a nice freshness, a leaner style, a little bit of that green herbal note at the end, but very good juice. The Oroppas are Opus, or Sapporo, spelled backwards. They owned the winery at one point, the brewing company from Japan. This wine is mostly Cabernet. It says Cabernet on the label now, 97%, and a little higher quality grapes from their vineyards, and still a very small winery, St. Clement, even though they're owned by a big company. They don't make a lot of any one wine. This may be 3,000 cases, the Oroppas production. Good amount of red currant and dark berry fruit, sweet tobacco spice. This wine's big and fruity like the 2012s on the tongue with ripe round tannins, a nice dose of toasty oak spice, really smooth and velvety, that cocoa and nice freshness through the finish there. All right, the St. Clement Cinq Cepage, not a good bottle. It was a little bit oxidized. This wine of the year for the 96 vintage, really hot and then cooled way off because of the price increases. But yeah, like I said, this bottle not a good one. We have the 2011. 2010 Etude, wow, this wine still fruit from the original Tony Soter contracts, and the 10 vintage, a classic year. This is all mid-valley fruit, not up in the mountains, but a big bouquet here, soy, dark spices, espresso, bitter cocoa, black earth, complementing the dark cassis and black cherry fruit. Really big and chewy on the tongue. Nice structure here. This wine needs some time. Keep it for a decade in your cellar, or keep it open for several hours. A little bit tannic right now, but most excellent juice at around 75 bucks. All right, then the Beringer Waymaker. They're starting to make some stuff from Paso Robles. This wine's got Syrah, Cab, Merlot, and Malbec, and very forward, very easy drinking wine, like a lot of the wines from Paso Robles. That ripe, round berry fruits, and very short and pleasant finish, a very good little everyday quaffer. All right, the Knights Valley Reserve 2012. This is a hot brand, the Knights Valley, at around 20 bucks. We're going to sell a lot of this wine. That's what it's in the store. The Reserve, a selection of the better fruit from Knights Valley. And hey, you got Peter Michael up here. You got, Jess Jackson's got a lot of vineyards up here. A lot of potential for high quality Cabernet. And this wine's got lovely richness to it. Dark currant, cassis fruit, layers of that currants and cassis on the palate. Dark earth, black pepper spice. Big and chewy wine. wine. This wine needs a little bit of time, but has everything in proportion. Excellent juice, and a little bit higher price than the Private Reserve. The Quantum wines up next. These are new wines from Beringer, kind of like this Luminus wine, and these wines a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Petite, Syrah, and Petite Verdot. The 12 being, of course, a little bit more forward. The 11 typical of that vintage, a little leaner, but this 12, lots of big and chewy fruit here, currants, cassis, some earth, a really excellent newer style wine, meaning very drinkable, and nice balance in this wine though too. And then we have the Beringer Private Reserve. This is one of the landmark wines of Napa Valley. Wow, this wine has got it all. Dark currants, cassis berry fruit, cigar box spice, loamy earth, mocha, espresso. Very intense, very well endowed bouquet, even bigger on the second day. And these 2010s, very well built. This wine for $125, man. I'll tell you what, some of the best wines made in Napa Valley over the years were these Private Reserve wines from Beringer, and still turning out the hits. Hey, don't say been there and done that. This is a wine that deserves serious attention, the Private Reserve Cabernet from Beringer. And that's what we had to drink with our friends from Treasury Estate. Did that in 2 reviews. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.